And welcome to Meet the Polymaker. I am your host of the night, Joel. Welcome in everybody for yet another episode of the show. We're keeping it going, keep on keeping on, everything. So, just got done with Rapid TCT. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So closing up the night and everything there. Lots to talk about. We'll talk about that next week as I have more time to prep for it. But for those that are new to the show, we like to talk about 3D printing news, maker news. We also like to show off community prints that are in our Discord at discord.polymaker.com. Those are shared in our show off prints. We also have a show off setups. If you got a workshop, a desk area that you want to show off, good, bad, the ugly. The prints can be fails. They can be amazing. They can be single color. They can be simple. If you love it, you like it, share it, and you might be shown on the show. So with that said, let's move over to Hotline. Hot into headlines. I know what I'm talking about. So first up, we're going to talk about Music Box or Fidget Toy. So these are designs by Kia or Kida or Kida, it's Kida, and they model a lot of different things. But something that's kind of started going viral, at least in my feeds, is music boxes. They can be made keychains. They can be made just a simple handheld fidget, but it has a little slider. Everything is 3D printed. A little slider that has little prongs that it tings. So different plastics, they say, make better noises. I think they said the galaxies seem to make a little bit more higher ting. But the cool thing is over 25 melodies. Some of these songs, such as what you see here, Minecraft, you got Super Mario Brothers, Rickroll. There's a long list available in Maker World. So if you look up Kida, K-I-D-A, and look at their models, they do a lot of fidget stuff. And you know, this is a really cool one. I'm interested in seeing maybe PPS because it does have that ting to it. And we had toyed with this during a hangout one time of trying to make a music box, and it so worked. So this might be the next thing I print in PPS. So we will see. Next up, we have faster bone healing. This is doing some research. U of I research developing 3D printed materials to heal bones faster. They're doing this. It's led by Shelley Zhang at the U of I, University of Idaho, I think it was. I don't know why I didn't put that in my notes. But again, making recovery process faster. Typically, you're fixed for a broken bone, depending. You know, there's casts where it can heal itself, but severe is to install a titanium metal plate. That's not always ideal. It's not cost effective. It's not super customizable with the titanium. So the team is still creating prototypes to where it's going to help the bone print faster. Your bone print. They can print bone too. That's another story for another time. But the process here is using a different chemical and 3D printing aspect to it to create that. But Zhang is excited to see how it develops and over the years, while inspiring the next generation of researchers and developers with the new tools that we have. So again, medical, it's going to be an ever evolving thing with 3D printing involved. Next up, we have Dutch artist Oliver van Herpt. And he's been creating painter leaf vessels, is what they call them, in collaboration with a 3D printer. This isn't your typical plastic FDM or even your resin. This is somewhere he's working with ceramic, porcelain. And generally, when they are 3D printing porcelain, it's not new technology there, but it tends to collapse on itself because it is heavier. It doesn't support itself by the time everything cures. What he's found with co-working with a 3D printer, he can do very thin lines and it is more supportive. So then what he's actually able to do is paint on the ceramic before it goes through the printer. And then as it prints, it kind of does this. This was originally a flower, kind of stretches it out and makes it into a whole new kind of a techie organic feel art. So it just, again, beginning from that white blank canvas, painting on that and then printing it through or printing the coil of ceramic through the printer. And this is what they get. Really cool design, and like I said, just another thing of art taking a whole different form now with technology. And next up, we got color changing smart textiles. This is going to be development between Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, Harvard University, and the University of Pennsylvania. Have been working on this together and 3D printing cholesteric liquid crystal elastomers, enabling complex color changing responsive materials and paving the way for novel applications like smart textiles and advanced robotics. I of course had to read that because it was way too much and it's like a tongue twister. But they are using a cutting edge method known as coaxial direct ink writing, or DIW, to infuse this smart ink into textiles. But they're able to print flexible structures. And this is what's really cool, kind of the use case, one of the many use cases. They're able to print flexible structures with a special ink that changes color when stressed. So this is going to be a visual signal showing that a structure is under stress if it's not supposed to be, or up to a certain degree. I'm not sure if the hue or the intensity changes the more stress it is, or if it's kind of an on and off. But again, to be able to have that visual signal to notify if whether it's a 3D print is one thing, but big things, mechanical things, functional parts, is it being stressed? You're gonna be able to tell that on the fly with this new smart ink technology. And last up, we're going to look at a design and a print by Studio Coat. It's a Toronto-based art and design studio that specializes in kinetics. As you see here, it's got kind of an organic, feel and movement to the octopus. This is an animatronic substructure sculpture created for Unruly Threads XYZ, so one of their clients, and it's mostly 3D printed. Now, typically this studio does work with metal. But due to the time constraints, which had 3 months to develop this, and the customizability, 3D printing was the way to go. They did use a Bamboo X1C printer to print the parts, and over 1,300 parts alone in this octopus that are 3D printed, not including they had some bolts and rivets and things that they added to it. And then actually a simple mechanism of just a string through the tentacles and a cam that actually just kind of pulls and loosens the string, causing that movement that you see. So really awesome. I'd love to see something like this released to the public, because I know there's a lot of cheap do-it-yourself methods of being able to add that cam into the center of the body. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be released, maybe not. They did not mention anything of the sort, so time will tell. But that is it for our news. So let's head on over to Spool to Spotlight. And first up, we are going to see a print by CGS Creations. I named it, they did not name this, the Clog de Failure. And then it just goes to show the failures happen. They happen to all of us. It happens to any printer. No one is exempt from the fact of something can fail, something can clog. You can get that big, bulge of filament at the end there. And, sometimes you just got to embrace it. It's unfortunate a lot of times in the big prints, or you're halfway through a really long print, but it happens, and, share them. It's fun to see, and you can laugh at it after the fact, because I'm sure they went back, they got this fixed, or put a new hot end, whatever they may have done to fix it, and then redid the print and it came out successful. So they do happen to all of us. So if you are a beginner out there and you haven't had this, you will. Just there's plenty of tips out there on how to fix it without going too drastic with it. So thanks for sharing the failure, CGS Creations. Next up, we have Cheryl, which typically Cheryl's showcasing different food print items, which I love. But this is a snail lamp by Tool Moon. It's available on printables, and I believe, I can't remember what they said that Cheryl used on the green. It is Polymaker, but then Tool Moon is also a company that makes LED lights, and this is made specifically for one of their lights. And I thought, awesome. I mean, it does not look 3D printed. It looks like it was a commercial thing that was bought from a store. So just another awesome print. Next up, we have It's Bry 3D, and they have printed the Mario wall decor, which this is just one of many. They shared, I think, probably 9 designs, all different characters from Mario Brothers, also designed by them. It is available. I don't remember if he had it posted. I believe Maker World. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Maker World. But search It's Bry 3D with 2 Y's, just as you see it here. You will find it. There's multiple. The plus side with these, no AMS required. They're in parts, so you can put it all together. You can print it on any printer that you want. And next we have Jake, who has designed and printed the Seahorse. And this is available on their Patreon, which is Polly Pocket 3D. I finally have that information. So Jake does share a lot of cool designs and prints and just really good photos. So now I can actually direct you if you're interested in a lot of the tuna with the tuna can, articulating things, articulating Seahorse. You can find them available on Polly Pocket 3D Patreon. And last but not least, we have Pink 3DP, who has shared the guitar pickup cover. Did not get where this was available from. I know there's so many different guitars. There's many people that designed the parts for the guitars. The knobs, the faceplates in celestial purple. There were some other things that were printed with it. I think she had a I want to say a barber's, but a stylist case for scissors and everything else that was in celestial purple. Hard to share many pictures, but if you go over to our Discord at discord.polymaker.com at the show off prints, you can find all these prints there. If they haven't linked anything where to find them, you can message right underneath any of those posts and say, hey, where do I get this? Or hey, what filament did you use, if they didn't list it? So head on over there, get some inspiration, or provide some inspiration of your own and share those good, bad, and ugly prints. We'd love to see them every week. But that is it for the prints of the week. And we are going to move to a commercial break. And right after that, we're going to meet our next maker. So stay tuned and we'll see you in just a minute. Come on down to Polymaker's Palace of Printing Perfection, where we have everything your 3D printing heart desires. We have PLA, we have ABS. Let's not forget ASA. Maybe PETG's your material of choice. We got that too. Don't forget nylons for those specific needs. Printing something special for that loved one in your life? We have all the colors to make that print a one of a kind. You want reds? We got them. How about blues? We got those too. And greens? Of course we do. Too many to count. And let's not forget the yellows all day long. Now don't take my word for it. Come on down and see for yourself. Here at Polymaker's Palace of Printing Perfection, we strive to fulfill all your printing needs. So come on down and start your collection today. We're easy to find right past the giant light box on Hangout Avenue at us.polymaker.com.
Are you into cosplay and prop making? Are you tired of having to break out those power tools to sand those lines away? And don't forget about all that hand sanding. Cramps. Ouch. Introducing Polymaker's Cos PLA, available in two different versions, version A and version B. Both versions are still easier to sand than standard PLA. Find out more at us.polymaker.com.
Whoa, I'd love to get into 3D printing, but I live here on the sun where the UV rays are nuts.
Wait just one moment there, strapping young chap. Have you ever heard of Polymaker ASA? Polymaker ASA is UV resistant, so it is the perfect application for printing near or around the sun.
No way, bro.
Yes way, brosif. Here, try it out.
Radical, man.
If you need a weather-resistant material, make sure you check out Polymaker's ASA.
Printing on the sun is no problem at all with Polymaker ASA.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. We are ready to do what we do and meet another maker. And this gentleman has an event that he might be bringing up and talking about that's coming up very soon. So without further ado, let's bring in Justin, Breacor 3D. How's it going, Justin?
It's going well. It's been a busy weekend. How are you? And I just ruined everything.
Busy also. No, you're good.
Yep.
This is all live, so it's bloopers, okay. And I trip over my words and say about 1,000 times. Yeah. So
it's been a long week.
Oh God, I'm with you. But some fun things going on. But real quick, for those that don't know who you are, don't recognize the face, Who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Justin. I go by Breacor 3D on all the socials. I am a 3D printer maker hobbyist, and I also run an event that a lot of people know as Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival.
I've heard of that. I think I might have been to the first year and the second year of it, and I plan on the
Maybe.
third. So, so real quick, the one question I want to get out of the way: Breacor 3D. Where's that come from?
That came from 7th grade, so way back when. This was a while back. I was like,
don't date yourself.
98. I don't even know. Maybe it was later than that. I came up with the thought of the name or something called Breaking Corporations way back when. Right. And so I couldn't figure out how to shorten it and ended up coming up with Breacor. And so I've had a few business names through the years and just thought I'd keep growing it. And
just stuck. So, hey, that's other than, when I became Polymaker Joel, the name I used before that was from my beginning of getting on the internet and having a persona up until so I can't call you out on that.
And it's funny, I used to go by J1999T on all the socials, and so I had to transition that over like course of 3 years to Breacor 3D. It took some time, as anyone knows. Rebranding is not easy.
Oh yeah, because you kind of got re-recognized or connect people that did know you as Justin. Like no, okay, I am the same guy, but
exactly.
Now this. We had the same thing with Polymaker, Polyterra, now being Panchroma, and that threw people off. They're getting used to it, but it's throws you off. But let's get into 3D printing history though. So with 3D printing, obviously you got a whole workshop behind you right now that's built up over the years. When did you start 3D printing and why did you start 3D printing?
I started 3D printing back in 2015 here at my local library. I just wanted to see what it was like. I'm a geek. I've always liked techie stuff. And so at my local library, let me jump back a little bit. So Lulzbot used to be here in Loveland, Colorado. No, I'm not doxing myself. Loveland's a big place. I've been to their former location when they were here, and so they pretty much supported all the schools, all the maker spaces, and all the libraries. So at the time, they had supported the local library with 2 printers, and
very nice.
I went in. At the time, I was printing with hips. I only printed 2 things at the library, but they required you to sit there and wait.
Like watch it, like wait for the print itself?
No, you could not leave during the use of that printer. So the first time sat there for 2.5 hours. Again, slower printers today. That's like a 15-minute print.
And that was probably like this big of an item?
It was an octopus. It was the Lulzbot octopus at the time.
Yeah.
And then I came back and I wanted to print something else. I unfortunately don't remember what that was. And it was an 8-hour print. I'm like, guys, I cannot sit here all day. I have things to do. Here's my number. Call me. And that was the last time I went to the library for 3D printing. Ended up ordering a printer, a failed Kickstarter printer at the time called the Genesis, which was very similar to the Prusa Mini design, cantilever, but completely failed. So ended up ordering a monoprice.
Now the printer itself failed or the Kickstarter never came through?
They only shipped 10 printers.
Jeez.
And then they vanished off Correct. So that soured me. I thought, this is cool. I'll support a company and get my first printer. Ended up ordering a monoprice Maker Select V2.
Okay.
And that lasted me about 1.5 years. This was early late 2016.
Yeah.
And as we do, that was back in the days of glass beds and painter's tape and Kapton tape and problems.
Anything you can think of,
Yes, and doing everything you could to keep the frame of the printer stable so you didn't get it shaking, because those printers were known for that.
Input shaping didn't exist.
No, there was barely any shaping
and everything else.
Oh, I don't remind me. I hated having to deal with those 4 dials with the circle, trying to level it and paper. I mean, we still use the paper every now and then, but not nearly as much. Then I pre-ordered when Prusa released and announced their MK3. I pre-ordered that, which it's still the frame on this printer behind me, still signed by Joe.
Nice, yeah.
special request to get that signed by Joe. So that frame,
I did the same with
unfortunately,
mine to 3D Printopia like 3 years back or 2 years back.
unfortunately, that frame gets to get hung on the wall when the Core 1 upgrade ships. So
Oh, that's right, because I wasn't using
little
it.
sad,
Yeah.
little sad, but got the MK3 and was instantly like, this is better. I actually have an old picture on my phone of the MK3 next to the mono price, and the mono price ended up going away. I ordered another MK3, and it kept growing and growing. The MK3s lasted
that rabbit hole.
MK3s had lasted me until, when was that? 2021, when the Voron was starting to become a huge hit. And this was pre-kit, and I built a large 350 by 350 by 500 V24. I overspent on everything because I wanted it quick. I didn't want to wait for AliExpress. So I only ordered one thing from China.
Everything else was locally sourced?
Everything else was locally bought.
Man.
Yeah. And that costs
premium,
more than double what a 350 2.4 kit costs from LVO nowadays. So this printer's going to stay. It'll get upgraded, but I had built it for a company that I got hooked up during COVID, and they were doing testing stuff for nothing to do with COVID, but they needed someone to print prototypes. So I purpose built the printer, and then they shut down the program. So after, like literally a month after the printer,
Kickstarter and helping another company.
Yeah, that if that contract had gone through, oh man. Yeah, I would have. That would have been the really big jump, but then grew from there, and then in 22 I went to Murph and Irf, and 23 and Murph and Irf, and continues on from there. But growing my supplies of printers as the time goes. My wife limited me to 5 before the first.
Oh, there you go. You have a limiter. See, some of us don't have that limiter. It comes.
There's no limit.
There's never too many.
There's 2 positrons down there. There's a belt printer up there. There's a V0 there. There's a Prusa Mini up there. I have the salad fork on order.
Wherever there's a hole, there's a space to put a printer.
Or filament.
Yep.
Lots of filament.
That's the same thing. Like I said, with printers, it's the same as filament. There's no such thing as too much or not enough.
Well, the issue is power. The issue for me is power. So this entire bank right here, these 3 are not even powered off this room. I have an appliance extension cord to another room because these 3 will blow the circuit on their own. So everything else is on the room, but blowing circuits isn't fun, especially when printers don't have self recovery.
And as much as you want to burn the house down, it's usually isn't a good outcome either way.
That's why it's an appliance extension cord, because it's 3 wires, not 1.
Yeah.
So the heat dissipates a lot better. And I'm not using that much.
Melt the wire.
Yeah. I mean, I don't heat them all up at the same time. I'll do 1 at a time, bedwise, so they're not pulling.
Once they get there,
once they stay warm, I keep them warm while I'm using them.
There you go. Now, of course, you said you went to Murph and 3D, Earth/3D Printopia back in. When was the first year? You said 2023?
First Murph was 22. I wanted to go in 21, but I just could not make it work. And realistically, I wanted to go to Earth 2019. That was in a different state of financial well-being, and that just didn't work. I wish I could have gone. That is like the one thing I would go back and change, because I would have met Sanjay. And I regret never meeting him. He would have actually loved where the community is now.
I mean, the amount that it's just grown and what everybody's come up with, and not just E3D, but all the different companies and just
everything,
the innovation and where we're already at in such a short time, even since his passing, it's just ridiculous. And imagine too, where would we be even further along, with his intelligence and his passion towards it. So I get that 100%.
From everyone I've talked to, he was the guy you could just talk to him about anything, and he just would go and go and go. And I'm the same way too, so I get that.
I'm the same. I can talk for hours upon hours. That's why I do a talk show. It gives me 1 hour to to get it all
Yeah,
out.
right. But anyway, back to the first Smurf. I didn't know much. I didn't know many people in the community, but I knew enough where I felt comfortable. I think the hesitation with Earth 2019 was I don't know anyone,
Yeah.
and
You
21
just want
was
to go
just
that far, show up, and then be like, okay, well,
yeah, be like I'm
this
here,
was fun.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. And so went to the 2022 Murph and didn't bring a printer. Didn't realize it was in the middle of nowhere. Uh, very hot, very tired, but had fun. Stayed up way too late.
Oh yeah.
My key memory was the hotel we were staying at, and you guys can find this if you look really hard. The hotel we were staying at, I always get into events on Thursdays. I sat down for breakfast the next morning, Friday morning, and I sit down, I start eating, and Joel, Pooch, and Chep all sit down, and Joel sits down, and I'm like, hey, Joel, nice to meet you. He's like, you're Justin. I'm like, huh?
How do you know this?
How do you know who this guy? This is some guy at your breakfast table, a breakfast thing. Like, it blew my mind. And so that was a big high of the weekend. Of course, everyone knows the after parties are fun. And there's a video out there of Joel pushing Mitch and one other guy in the coffee table. Yeah, everyone remembers the coffee table.
Yeah.
Even the freaking, this is like 2 a.m, and even the hotel attendant, the front desk attendant's just recording it.
Was just cool about.
She was one of the coolest people, and when they remodel that hotel, she's supposed to let me know, and we're gonna send someone to get that table.
Just recreate the video again. I'm sure Mitch might make it, and they'll just put it inside of it. And
yeah. We've had some ideas about doing table races at some events. 3D printed.
I'm interested in not table racing, but I was promised by Joel Telling that the next event, which is Rapid, and that is that I get a piggyback ride.
Right.
So I don't know what came about it. Some people were talking about me and his live stream, and it led to, hey, let him know I'm going to give him a piggyback ride. I don't even know the context. All of a sudden, I just start getting messages from people. Hey, Joel Telling's on his live stream talking about giving you a piggyback ride. I'm like, what? And it's because he told me, go tell him. So I look forward to that. That's going to be, it might not be as fun as a coffee table ride through a lobby, but I'll make the most of it.
Right. So for me, Murph was great. It was humid. It was hot. I don't stay cool.
I've been there several years in a row, and it's
But it's a party. You go, you hang out, you have fun. You just hang out
regardless. Yep. Even with the
heat. Yeah. And then went to Earth 22, which was fun. That was my first Earth. I knew people. I was able to get access in to the event thanks to a few friends and enjoy that behind the scenes. And that was nice. There's some links to Murph on that, but I'll hold that for later talk. And then went to Murph 23, which was unfortunately for me, again with the heat, I was miserable. I ended up getting heat exhaustion at a bar on like Saturday night. I had to go back to the hotel and cool off. So that unfortunately ended my Murph trips because that heat was just too much.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's risky to have that happen. It could definitely lead to worse than just a quick hospital ride.
Yeah,
and
especially in the middle of nowhere, especially there where there's probably no hospitals in Goshen.
Yeah, the horse and buggy in Goshen to the hospital is not the fastest way to get there.
Went to Earth 23, Murph, and then Murph 3D Printopia. So.
Yeah, so then of course the first year of Rocky Mountain Rap Festival was 2023.
Yep.
And what led you, like, how long, or basically at what point did you think, okay, because I know it's you and a few others, did you guys decide, hey, you know what, let's do this, let's put it together and like really put that foot forward? When and why?
So this jumped back to Murph 22. Again, my first event, I wanted to bring stuff, and I reached out to Mike, one of my co-organizers, on Facebook, and was like, hey, are you able to bring anything? He's like, this is like a week before the show, before he left. He drives.
Like Mike's planning.
Yeah, he drives. He drives 17 hours. So he loads up his car, takes all his stuff. It's awesome.
Hard pass.
Agreed. And so I was like, all right, no problem. And met him at Murph. I flew to Chicago and then drove the 2.5
Drove
hours.
over, yeah.
That's a long drive when you do it the first time.
Especially
you
in
don't
Indiana.
know.
There's nothing interesting that you're driving through. It's just field and trees and nothing.
So chatted with him a little, and then again, my first event, I bought like 20 rolls of filament. I'm like, how am I going to get this home?
Yep.
Well, Mike lives, within an hour's drive of me. I'm not going to say where because he would not be happy. And so I'm like, all right, well, I asked him, do you have space? He said yes. So he drove back and I got home half an hour before he did. Flight first drive, because I left on Monday.
Later, yeah.
Later. And so went and chatted with him. He showed me around his house and we got to talk. Murph started in a garage. So we're like, maybe we'll put something together, just a little hangout, use his basement, beautiful basement, set up some printers, people can hang out and have fun. And that was the end of it. We chatted.
And just kind of test the waters to see what it would become or how many people would be interested.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then a few months later, I'm talking to him. And I'm like, maybe we should look at doing something bigger. Let's post out on socials and see what people think. And so we posted out, and there's some interest. And then I went to Earth 22 with the sole intention of drumming up backing from sponsors. And this was, the end of September, and luckily, as this community does, it supports everybody, and the sponsors were receptive and supportive. And keep in mind, this is my second event in person meeting these people. I'm like, you're crazy, absolutely crazy. But again, I've been on streams for a couple years ahead of that. Yeah. And so I get back and I tell the guys, and we're like, all right, let's find a venue. That was the challenge. Thanks to my wife, we have the venue we have. There's some venues in Denver that are expensive. And I'm talking like take Rapid and add a 0 to everything you do. Red tape, sell a roll of filament, they got to be involved. So luckily we landed on the ranch that we're at now and got the venue deposit done out of our own pockets. We got it paid back, of course, and sent out our stuff. And my guys
risk it nonetheless, because at that point
very
you don't
big
know.
risk.
You got a good response for the sponsors, but that doesn't mean the first year is going to be okay. Hey, this will be popular. Who wants to come out to Colorado? With this much notice.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is late September, early October 22. The event was in April of 23. So you're talking 6 months.
Yeah.
I told I got Zach joined on the team, formerly of It Works 3D. He unfortunately did have to shut down his business. And they're like, so we're doing this in 2024, right? Give us a year and a half to plan. I'm like, no, we're doing this in 23. I'm not waiting a year and a half.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. So we sent out our sponsor email. I don't remember. It was in November of 23. And we filled up platinums in a week, golds in a month, silvers a couple months later. And we, this is back when we had the single hall too. We only had 18,000 square feet. We didn't know.
Yeah, first section.
We didn't know. We were like, if it gets packed, we'll rent the other side. Yeah. So we did all the things, got shirts, found suppliers, spent too much money, yada, yada, yada. And ended up buying 1,300 general attendance lanyards. I'm like, great, we'll get 1,200 people. We'll put this on Eventbrite. We'll get some social media marketing done, get some people in the community to talk about it. And then the event shows up and there's a line down the street.
I remember me and my son got there early because I decided the Tuesday before the event, like, I'm going to go at least Saturday. And we went and we were, I think, third in line. But then it was, so we got there. We didn't get there super, super early. We got there a little bit early. But I mean, behind us, once we got in line, it seemed like minutes. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, well, I'm glad that we got here as quick as we did.
Yeah, it was nuts to have that line day one. We ran out of lanyards in 3.5 hours. We didn't expect to run out at all.
Yep.
it was insane. It was packed to the gills. People were having fun, loving it. My feet hated me. And we ended up
You learned
having
less than that the second year then.
including sponsors, makers, and staff, we had 3,500 people come through in a 2-day event.
Initial
on
2-day
the
event.
initial inaugural event. We're not a lot for comparison, but if you look at the attendance for the other two events, there's a difference. We love the other two events. Without them, we wouldn't exist. So we're not comparing. My co-organizers like to say that.
I think everybody honestly says when comparing all of them is they all have different feels. They're all different events.
Yep.
All of them are great to go to. But
Yep.
this one is this and this and this, and they have their different feels. But they're all great. Yeah.
So we knew middle of Saturday we needed a bigger space. We sat down during the after party on site, and we was like, we need a bigger space. We need more stuff. We got to do this. We got to do that. And just kept going. Now, what blew my mind and what made me actually tear up heavily during that event, I had to go outside about 11 a.m. on Saturday to handle something. And I looked at the parking lot. Now, keep in mind, we're the only event on the campus that weekend. You remember how packed that parking lot was? I saw that and I wanted to bawl into tears. And even talking about it now, I'm tearing up. It was just, it was like a freaking tornado had hit me. I apologize. I always tear up when I tell the story. It meant a lot.
It's a big thing, especially you put that much effort in it. And I mean, you can gauge somewhat of the interest through the internet and obviously for the early tickets. But
and
even
having people inside, you can't count that many people. It was the parking lot.
And that's even the internet tickets and everything like that is. Let's say you got 2,000. I mean, you can assume that maybe half of them are going to come. The rest of them are just kind of registering whatever. So I mean, to see the actual number hit and then exceed, that takes you back, especially when you're in the middle of it and okay, no, holy crap, this is a bigger deal than I thought it would be.
It came up and it slapped me. It's it was insane. I had to go back inside, otherwise I was going to spend half the event outside. But,
and start counting the cars.
Oh my god, dude, it was nuts. Just the amount of people, and we still had people the second day. So it grew from there. We expanded into the second year, opened up space, and did
doubled,
even
right?
better.
Both
Doubled.
spaces are same size, just connected via that hallway.
Yeah, same size, just with a rotation on one side.
Yep.
And so we filled that with 4,000 general attendance. I don't have a good count on the back end.
Oh, yeah.
But that was huge. It was still packed. I
know
have
our
pictures.
booth. I was there, of course, hoping that was the first Rocky Mountain I was working with Polymaker and doing our booth, of course, all the interactive stuff. And it was the Nerf blasters. Obviously, we had the scientist and everything else. And everything came together. That was so busy. But I'm looking forward to, of course, this year. We're going to be there again. And on the same way that we normally do it.
And what's crazy is, Nick from Polymaker was on the front page of the local news here in Loveland the first year. There were people that were showing up the door. We're here because there was an article in the newspaper. Who reads the newspaper?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Because somebody caught wind of it and then they did an article.
No, they had emailed out and requested to do it. And so
nice. They
were in it. Ellie from Cocoa Press was in it. There was all these, things. I can't get them to come back. I don't know why, but there's still articles all over the place. People love it. So
I'm 3D printing's taking over every aspect of anything. So it's I'm sure they're gonna be like, hey, crap, 3D printing's kind of a thing. We probably should go out there and do a number.
And that's why it gets bigger every year. Our local Micro Center. Micro Center is a sponsor. Well, Inland by Micro Center is a sponsor, so they let us put up flyers at their shop. So Micro Center is such a big following that it's just it's free marketing, but they're paying
too, anything around the 3D printing area. If there's people walking the 3D printing area, that means they're interested, whether they own or don't own. And then they see, there's an event. There's a local event.
And the guy that works at the 3D printing spot at our Denver Micro Center has been to the event twice and is willing to talk about it to anyone. I mean, I was there 2 months ago, and I'm like, people are looking at a certain brand of filament. Well, do you ever want to meet the people here? And they're like, oh, we did last year. I'm like, good. You
Well,
know,
I'm back again this year, so come back out
Yes.
again.
exactly. So it keeps growing and growing. That every year gets better and better, and we grow. And different companies come and go, and this
Oh yeah.
year it's gonna be bigger. It's bigger. It's better. There's just
Now, is there
more.
anything new this year that you can talk about, even briefly?
There's
That's
some
coming.
stuff.
Obviously, there's some secret stuff I know, but
Now
there's things you
there's
don't
some
want to talk about.
secret stuff, but if we take a look at the website,
We
there is a bunch of stuff. By now, people know that the layout has been released.
they're gonna I got
Um,
it pulled up for you.
so obviously, our main page, standard page for everything. Keep in mind, you can get shirts for the event. Just supports the event.
Yep.
And you need to get them before 2 weeks ahead of the event if you're going to. Tickets are free. We ask that you get them. You don't have to. You can just show up, but it helps us. So Big Jano does this thing. Please sign up for event notifications. We're finally using a thing. We don't have enough people signed up, but we want to use that every year so people can, get more info about the event as things go. Yada yada, all our fun. And now we've got standard sponsors. Every link here is clickable. Look, I recognize that one.
I recognize that company
Use
too.
that one. We got great company. We got Print Talk After Dark. We got a company that does his own filament, I think, called Cap Emotion out of Canada. We got the Recreator Project.
3D, yeah.
Got Fadus. Got Deposition Sound. Got Armored Turtle doing the Box Turtle project. We got LDO. We got E3D. We got Spark Fun, which is cool. If anyone knows, that's the thing that Joel and Spark Fun
XRP robotics thing, yeah.
Correct. We got Pantheon coming.
Ooh, yeah, that's the expensive little thing, right? The Pantheon. What the name is.
Keep an eye out. There's something else coming. That's all I can say. Yeah,
maybe Rocky Mountain.
Maybe. We'll see. Can't talk much about it. We got Bot Rumble, which I'll talk about that in a sec. And of course, at Maker Lounge, we'll talk about that. Ajax 3D, Uforge, the Voron team with a very large booth this year. Loop with their arm. There's so much, even on the main page. So
just a small list, right?
Right. So now we go into event details. Obviously, you got your hours. There's not much here besides the layout. You can see where everybody is. And our speaking area is sponsored by Breacor, which is over here on the right.
That's still in the second building, right? It's just on the back half
instead of that. It's in the second building, and it's in a separate room.
Okay.
So you walk. For those that were there, if you remember where Joel had his game, Joel 3D printing
the
had his
hammer game that they.
You walk through the double doors behind him, and you'll have access to that speaking area, which is bigger, more enclosed. We had to do it. We had no choice. So now we're renting every inch of the building. Yada yada. You can go to the site to see that. We do have our schedule up: Death Racers, Dragsters, concessions, yada yada. We do have our talks, which is awesome. People are going to want to see this. I know what it is. I can't tell anyone. That's to be announced at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
Some really good talks. There's a 3D printing magic show. There's a game show. Which
are those the same guys that were at Murph this year? Or sorry, last year?
No, that's a guy that's local here in Colorado.
Oh, okay. Still cool either way.
Yeah, we got a 3D printing business panel, meet the maker panel, kind of like what you do, but a little bit different. We're trying to guide it. There's just so much to learn to see.
Well, obviously a trial. Like if it's the first time, you gotta, is this gonna work? I have no idea, and then just roll with it.
Yep. People can see pictures from our previous event. We do have my favorite page that I put together. We do have the robot arm coming again. You'll play Tug of War. Jeff, we've got Laser Sterling's McLaren coming this year. The Lambo is...
That was the guy that did the Lambo, right?
Yep, and the Lambo should be next year, but he's working on a McLaren 720S, which is awesome. We do have I think you might know about this, the 3D Printing Nerd Quiz Show. You have to sign up. We don't know why the link isn't here. I will have to fix that. All proceeds go to the Sanjay Mortimer Foundation. You can win Prusa MK4s and this, that, and the other. It's really cool. It's a rapid fire quiz show. Everyone plays at once, and you're scored and you win. And the winning team gets 4 MK4S, or each person gets an MK4S on the winning team, up to 4 people. And there's all this other stuff. I need to fix that. Polar Filament's doing a filament swap. If you have filament, i.e. like some PPS CF10 or some stuff that you just can't use, you can exchange 1.75 millimeter filament only. We had issue last year where there was a lot of 285. I get it. People order the wrong material. Details on the site. We do have the Maker Chip Mania coming back. This is only a small portion. I don't know if you can see me.
Here, I'll pull it off here. Let's see here. There you go. Yeah.
So this is only a small portion of what I've been printing. I think we're close to 5,500 chips. I don't know. I have to weigh them to measure them to see how many.
Oh yeah, definitely not counting them at this point.
Right. If you can throw that site back up for me.
Yep. There you
go. And then of course we got all these awesome creators coming. Thought of this page was things to do, people to see, and I'll keep updating it as things are confirmed.
As it grows, yeah. As you get confirmation of people being
and
there.
These are
it's
all
not necessarily bringing tables, but
these are all clickable too, so you can click and go to their preferred site. We do have the Death Racers and the Dragsters coming back. Yep. Need more info on that, but every year it's great, especially with the new Big Tree Tech kits for the Death Racers.
New files, everything.
There's a great picture from the first year of all the Death Racers and Dragsters. And then we've got the Bot Rumble Combat event. They're doing a plastic ant weight 16 entry double elimination trimming each day in the North Hall. You can see where it is, and they're all handling it. I don't know much about it. You join the Discord, you sign up, you print it within the rules, yada yada yada.
So attendees can participate. They just need to go to the link there, and
you have to sign up ahead of time to participate. And there'll probably be some grudge matches and things like that.
Yeah.
Just more stuff to see. They sent me some pictures of what they do. This entire cage was there last year.
Okay, yep.
Insane cage.
The pleasure to see plastic ant weights in battle, and some of them, when they ramp up the weapons, whew, they sound dangerous.
And this is plastic.
Yeah.
Like, how is this so dangerous?
Oh yeah, pieces go flying. It's great to see. If you've never watched it before, highly recommend it. So yeah, that's awesome to see that they're going to be there. We of course sponsor a ton of robotics, and we do some tournaments too and everything. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Well worth visiting that and watching it for sure.
Yep, I'm sure it'll be busy in that corner because you've got more on West 3. For those that are traveling, if you haven't booked your hotel, book it now. Stay south or stay east because there's a graduation in Fort Collins that's causing some cost
I got
issues.
A place in Greeley, is that how it's pronounced?
Yep.
Like 25 minutes away, so not bad.
Yep, correct. Nothing bad. And then this is what we have. Obviously, there's more, but directions to the venue, things like that. Apologies. But that's most of the site. For those that do want to support the merchandise, we got all the fun merch, all the nice comfy shirts and jackets, and not that it's going to be 75.
2 weeks prior to the show if you want a chance to be able to have it.
Yeah, I mean, you can order it. You can order it. And you could, if you want to have it at the order it so you'll be able to wear it at the show. 2 weeks. If you order after that, we'll leave it up about till 2 weeks after the event. You cannot buy it.
You want it.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you cannot buy this stuff at the event. It's not for sale. We don't have a table because we don't want to take away from the event to sell shirts. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
you have other things to worry about.
Correct. So it's going to be a huge event. We're anticipating anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 people. We're sitting around 3,500 signed up with about 5 weeks left. 5 weeks left. Oh my God.
And it comes quick. With my planning of the few events that I've done so far, oh man, it comes quick. Like, Yeah,
It's
it's
just it'll
up to the
slap you
last
before you
hours
know it.
of getting things off the printer plates and like, okay, let's throw this into the luggage. Let's go.
Doing.
That plate, that file's available, right?
This file is available on the website. This is
Nope.
Big Jano. So big. If you look at our YouTube, the Rocky Mountain Rep YouTube, there's our preview video that was recorded from last year, and Big Jano actually handed this off to me at 3D Printopia. We did a whole bit on it. It was kind of fun
Nice.
to do something a little different. And then we also will have a few thousand of our stickers this year. Gorgeous stickers.
Nice.
Really, really good quality. It's Hot Makes producer Caleb's company, Cash River Design or something.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
It didn't cost any more than Sticker Yeti yet. I think it was about the same price. I'm like, I will support
and you're
someone
supporting a fellow 3D printing community fellow for sure. Yeah,
exactly.
That was a good
So,
guy.
yeah, I've got a whole box of stickers, and I'm really excited because the quality it's just
That's great.
really nice, and I'm excited for people to have that. I got to figure out where we're going to put 5,000 of these though. Just walk around, just
where we're gonna put them and
just get a sticker
Just,
confetti
you know what?
gun.
Get one of those the dollar bill guns, and you just
Yeah.
load it with stickers and just shoot them everywhere.
Can we 3D print that?
I'm sure you get the right person to start modeling it. You can have anything done. I'm sure the Out of Darts guys or Vile Mods or all
That would
the
be cool.
800 Nerf mod people. Maybe
That'd
for
be
next
cool.
year. 5 weeks
Maybe.
might be cutting it close. But then
I
again,
don't
I've
know.
seen
I've got enough
crazier things
printers.
done in shorter time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But it's gonna be wild. For those that haven't noticed on the stream and haven't mentioned it yet, there's a 4 there. My shirts are on the way.
Somebody waited to the last minute to order their own.
Yeah, no, it takes time to get the shirts in and transfer,
Yeah.
especially when we order the amount that we order for our team.
Okay, yeah.
So it'll be nice. It'll be big. I think this year's going to be the best year yet. But there's some really cool stuff coming. There's some stuff that you've seen on socials from certain companies that maybe have a maker table instead that they're bringing.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's some things that are going to gain some serious attention.
That's
and
awesome, especially if you can get to the point of being like a place where people want to release stuff. Because I know that's what I'm looking forward to. Rapid TC is for the fact of there's going to be some there've already been teasers from different companies of unveiling this. Like, hey, I get to see it. Like, I'm used to like watching a reveal video, at home. So to see it in person, be like, you showed it, and now I'm actually seeing it. It's going to be fun, even if I can't take it home.
And we are working on live streaming and recording the talks this year. We're going to have a setup for it, hardware for it, yada yada. Last year, unfortunately, the talks are really bad quality, and I could release them. It's one of those things. Yeah, I'm going to use a better camera. We're going to be hooked into audio. We're going to use professional streaming equipment.
There you go. Do it right. Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing with growing pains is, like I said, as you get bigger and better, and you're adding stuff, and then sometimes you don't realize like what all is involved, and then really sometimes you don't even know till you're in it. Like, hey, it's live now. Like, oh, hey, that's of course we had our Polypalooza giveaway. That was the first time that most of us team members did all that stuff, and luckily it went way smoother than I could ever anticipated. But like I said, it's some of the stuff you don't know that you're gonna have to handle or even think about until you're in it. So yeah, same with the recording, the video, and the audio for the stage presentations. You don't really know until you do it, and if you're already into it, you're not really like, hey, everybody, stop. We're gonna reset. Let me go get a different mic. Let me get a different computer. Let me set up a different camera. You just gotta roll with it. So
a lot of people ask me when I hop in Discord, can you buy stuff there? You can. We'll have a swap meet table where it's first come first serve, private sales only. People sell printers. I've sold printers because I always end up with too many printers. They sell accessories, yada yada, and you can come and just set it down, put a card in it, and nothing ever happens to stuff. We have people walking around, but you can buy stuff from a lot of companies right there at the event. Unfortunately, Polymaker doesn't sell at the event, but you can win stuff
instead. I would say we don't need to sell it because you can just win it.
Right? Yeah.
And this year's going to be no different. There will be a couple ways of winning filament, so stay tuned for that.
Yep, exactly. That's the fun part, and making it fun for the people, as long as the people can continue to walk around. So,
No, there you
I'm
go.
I'm excited for the future of the venue. There's some things changing that I'm in the next 4 or 5 years that are going to be awesome and really make it more cohesive.
Awesome.
I love the 2 halls, but man, it makes it so difficult.
Yeah, just the layout and everything else, and just trying to get everything and trying to be fair. I know it's
Yep.
impossible when you're dealing. If it was 10 sponsors, okay, boom, I'll put you here, here, and here, and there. But it's
Yeah.
like you said, as you get
60
bigger, it's
some.
trying to shuffle them.
How many sponsors do I have? Do we have? Math. Counting everyone, we have 63, 64 sponsors this year.
Awesome.
And 76, 75, 76 maker tables. So those unfortunately have been sold out since January. The wait list is full too. We could easily double the number based on the amount of people I have on the wait list, and I don't see that wait list clearing because
Yeah, so somebody had to be looking at new venues.
There's nothing, unfortunately, that is large enough to do what I'd love to do, and my team doesn't want to manage that size of a venue and the logistics and costs involved.
Oh yeah, that's
you know how much things cost for you guys at a zero easily. We that's not our goal.
Yeah,
our goal is to everyone's like, go to Denver. I'm like, no.
Then you want to pay $40 per ticket, and then still maybe
more like 150. The logistics in Denver. Everyone you talk to, you want light, you talk to a different guy, then a table, then a chair, then a tablecloth, then power, then internet. It's just like I talk
and all
to
these
maybe
fees of each. Okay,
5 or
tables
6
it's X
people.
amount. Power cord it's this amount.
Yeah, exactly. It gets complex, and I deal with like 5 or 6 people at this venue. It just makes sense.
It's easier to manage. Well, and that's the thing too, is what people need to understand is you and your partners that put all this together. This isn't what you do for a living. It's not hey, we're just Rocky Mountain Rep event organizers. That's all we do. Like you have full-time jobs. Everything you do for this event is 100% on your extra time when that does exist.
Yeah. I'm lucky to currently have a boss who lets me do stuff during my work day. Honestly, if I didn't have that, there's no way. There's no way I could run this event.
There's not enough hours in a day.
Just responding to stuff for 4 or 5 hours a night.
Yeah.
There's just not enough time. As the event gets closer, I don't have any free time between now and then. So it becomes a big thing.
Now, do you take every year and an hour, at least since the first one happened and you seen how big it was? Do you take the following week off for vacation to just
so I wish unfortunately, our society doesn't really let people take time off to the best of their abilities. So the first year I didn't get home till like 4 a.m. I slept till like 12. I could not walk the 15 feet to the restroom. I didn't hydrate enough. And this was in the 18,000 square foot hall. I did 80,000 steps in 3 days. My legs wanted to light themselves on fire. So last year I did better. Obviously, those that were there and those that saw, I had a nice little segue. I'll have that again. We own that now, so I'm going to be using that again.
You may or may not have, at least I know of one time, maybe 2 times, maybe.
I only fell once.
Disembarked off of it.
I only fell once, and it was during the teardown. I rolled over
tablecloth or
some little pole or something, and I just took it. Yep. But I was running around in that thing most of the event except the very busy 2 hours during Saturday because just too many people, and never had any issues. I'm very aware that there's a trillion different people going a trillion different ways.
Well, and that's the thing too, is you're just getting from point A to point B to get things done. You're not trying to be stupid and be like, hey, let's see how fast I can get across the venue.
There were some times during the after party we would test that, but
that's different. That's the after party. That's not the event. That's kind of we don't talk about those.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's fun. It gives me the ability to not want to tear my legs off. But the big
Yeah.
change is making sure I get a 2-hour massage 2 days later.
There you
A
go.
full 2-hour massage from my favorite masseuse that I've been going to do for years, and she does a
There
great
you go.
job. I have my
Loosen you
wife
up
drive
after all
me,
that.
and oh my god, without that, I go back to work on the Wednesday after, and it's just if I don't do that, I'm at work like wanting to cry because it's just
They just send you
I
home because
just
you're
can't
whining
walk.
all day. Like, okay, just go home. Just get out of here.
I wish, but
If life was only
you know,
that easy.
it's great. My favorite thing, and I joke, is I started an event so I can bring all my favorite people to Colorado. 15 minutes away, like
Yeah. Perfect.
The first 2 times I went to first time I went to Earth and Murph, it's like, okay, go to the show, go back to the hotel, fall asleep. The first year of Murph, it was go home, take a shower in my own shower, and get into my own bed.
You always sleep better too. Yeah, it's always
No,
more
I didn't.
relaxing.
Not the first year. The first
Well,
year,
that's your mind's
oh
going
my
all
God.
night
It
long,
wasn't.
like thinking
Yeah,
of what.
it was that, and then I would wake up. It was Friday morning before setup because I didn't know if anyone was actually going to show up, and Saturday for the same reason. I wanted to throw up. I was nauseous. I was just like,
Give yourself that anxiety attack.
oh my god, I was freaking, and then people start showing up, and it just went away. And the last year, no big deal. And this year, I'm not worried because I know people are going to show.
Yep.
So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're gonna come out for sure. So yeah, okay. Well, I'll get you out of here. But
No, you're good.
what is the site that they can go to, and what are the times and the dates for the event for those that are either already coming or that are interested? Give us a rundown of the information. I'll pull the screen up if you want me to.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
There you go.
So easy way to get to the website. You don't have to type out Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival.com. We have the shorter version, RMRRF, 2 R's, .com. It'll relocate you to this site. The event is May 17th and 18th, 2025. That's a Saturday and Sunday at the new Peterson Toyota Center, which is the same hall, just the name got bought. Whole thing. And that is on Saturday is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And yeah, and you can sign up for info. You can get more info on the event. I'm going to be updating this as more and more stuff gets added to the event as it gets closer. And you can find us on all the socials. I've been a little quieter this year on socials. Just trying to let the auto marketing do its
enough
thing.
enough people have been there. They're already talking about it and everything else. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things is once it's established, it kind of sells itself. People have been there, they know what it's about, and they know, is this a real deal or this is just some jank get together? And it's not.
Right.
It's a big deal. So I'm excited to be part of it. Again, this year, this will be the first Rocky Mountain that I'm officially a Polymaker team member. Not that that makes any difference because I'm still just going to be working the booth. But yeah, we'll be live, running the floor with the stream also. So we'll make
as best you can. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck with that.
The time scheduling is so easy on an event.
Well, that and the internet's so high quality. Sorry for them.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully, as long as I got a good cell signal, but even that can be iffy. I know too. So
with that many people, there's just so much interference. You get 5,000 plus cell phones in one building. It's gonna break.
The signal gets a little congested.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we'll do the best we can. But yeah, other than that, is there anywhere else that anybody can follow, or is the website the best source of information?
The website's the best source. You can follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads. I don't know, Facebook. We got the Facebook event. Instagram as well. It's either Rocky Mountain Rep Festival or Remurf at Remurf. I think for Twitter, it's at X, whatever we're calling it these days. It's Remurf. But yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be here before we know it and be gone way too soon.
And then planning will start, the day after, right?
No. We take about a 2 or 3 month break before we'll do a post-mortem meeting a couple weeks later. And then we'll just be like, we'll see ya.
There you go.
And take a break and go from there because we can't do this 24/7. you know.
Absolutely not. Like I said, with those full-time jobs, but yeah, no, I look forward to, like I said, coming again, seeing you, seeing, like I said, all the faces and everything that I see every year, and new faces that come, making new friends, new memories. So,
And if you know who I am and I know who you are, say hey. If I don't know who you are and you want to meet me, try to catch me on the Segway if I'm not
yeah,
busy.
like a chicken with its head cut off. So you gotta have a fast pace if you're gonna catch up to
the
them.
the head. I leave the head at home. I let it
There you
cook
go.
in the crock pot for a few days.
Fair.
No, I'm all over the place. If you get a chance to say hey, great. If you don't, I apologize. Love
We'll
to
try
chat
to catch
with
up. Yeah, we try to shake hands and kiss babies as much as we can. It doesn't always work out that way, but yeah. So
yeah,
well,
with that many people, they get face blind real easy.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your night. And again, I'll see you here in 5 weeks, which is crazy because that's going to be no time at all. So thank you again for coming on, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Have a good one, Justin.
You too.
See ya. And that there is the end of the interview, Meet the Maker. What was I even say there? I don't know. But Justin, great guy, a fun guy to be around. Like I said, especially when you can catch him during the Rocky Mountain. There is a lot of things going on, and the team there does a great job organizing that, putting everything together. There's always a lot of fun stuff, a lot of companies, a lot of makers, and that's really what the Rep Raps are about. It's not just a commercialized event to try to sell you stuff. A lot of people go there to, again, meet up, hang out, see new faces, see old faces, etc. So if you're in the Loveland, Colorado area in May, middle of May, stop by. If you're able to make it out, it's worth it. It's fun. There's still, like I said, if you go about 20 minutes from the venue, there's still affordable hotels. Now, normally they're a lot more affordable, but there is a graduation, I think it was, going on that kind of hiked up the stuff in that area. But you can find fair price hotels. I suggest Greeley, Greely. That's where I located hotels for me and our team. So hopefully there's still some stuff open up there, but well worth the visit. And like I said, I decided last minute on the first year, and it was worth it. And even though there's a lot of weird flights that I took, so recommend it. But other than that, whether you're going to Rocky Mountain or you're not going to Rocky Mountain, we do have several projects that we like to talk about every single week, because these things happen every single week. We have, first off, Polymaker figurines. If you want to type in !PMF in the chat, that'll bring you Linktree, and that is led by Antoine Dimensions, and that is across TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc. And he is releasing videos nonstop of Polymaker figurines. They are multicolored figurines of Pokemon. And he's done the whole first version. He's now on version 2, and those are multicolor. When he releases that video, that model then becomes available to download for free on Maker World. And you don't have to print it in multicolor. You can print it in solid color. They're all very well done models, very accurate. Highly recommend it. Even if you're not a Pokemon fan, I've printed some myself, and they just look amazing. But another project we have going on is the Polymaker Education. If you want to type in !PME in chat, that's going to bring up the link tree for Polymaker Education. That is led by Creatrix Brit, who's likely in chat typing it now. Okay, and so Creatrix Brit, she hosts that and manages the whole thing, and that is just the educational files, models, and the presentation of, and the use cases for. So similar to the Polymaker Figurines account, as she does a video, whatever model she's displaying, those are then available for free through Maker World and Printables. And that's Polymaker_education. And again, across the board, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, go follow them, check her out. It's always fun. She has a signature entry into every video. It's always fun to do, or fun to watch. I won't do it myself because I'll probably break an ankle. But we also have Polymaker Labs. If you want to type in !PML, that is led by Polymaker Sean, one of our very own, and he is the Polymaker Labs scientist. Gives you tips, tricks, how-tos, etc., troubleshooting on 3D printing, just giving you that nice knowledge in short snippets so it's easy to digest and remember. So whether you're having a problem or you have a problem in the future, hopefully this video can address it. And then you can always go back and reference them. Those are on TikTok, again, under Polymaker Labs. And then we also have In Printing Color. If you want to type in !IPC, that is hosted by Pezliz over at twitch.tv/Pezliz. That is every Wednesday. And that's where she goes over colors, surface effects, all the very different filaments. There's always an ever-growing catalog, so she always has an ever-growing amount of filament and colors to cover. A lot of things that she shows use case. Recently she's done some poly smooth stuff that's very interesting. So if you haven't caught it, I recommend going back, watching some videos, and then catch her every Wednesday live. So that is it for all of our projects. And if you're already typing in I am awesome in chat, unfortunately, this is not live. Some of you may already caught on to the snippets early into the show, but we're not live. I'm actually at Rapid TCT. This will be wrapping up the day of. So as this airs, I'm probably at a team get together afterwards, having a good time. So I do look forward to coming back on next Tuesday, which that is going to be just our community hangout. We're going to start getting the final planning for Rocky Mountain rep together. So make sure to tune in. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard on Tuesdays. And then of course, Polymaker, or Meet the Polymaker is every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what, whether it's live or pre-recorded. If I'm in Antarctica, or I'm at home in Ohio, or I'm at the factory in Houston, there will be a show. There will be a show. There will be a new maker. We will meet somebody new every single week, and that'll continue until it doesn't. So I don't foresee that anytime soon. I'm a stickler for keeping things going, so I appreciate the support up to this point. There is no giveaway. I apologize. How about this? We do a double giveaway on Tuesday stream to make up for this one. I'm sorry if you were led to believe this was live, but I hope you all have a wonderful night. Go find somebody to raid into. I know there's quite a few viewers now. Find somebody, in the crafting making section of Twitch, and find somebody, just raid. If somebody has a suggestion, throw it in the chat. Follow that. Just make sure it's family friendly if possible. I know sometimes as it gets later, it's hard to, but if they're doing really cool making, it doesn't have to be 3D printing. Any type of making, go show some support to somebody else. It makes their day, especially if they're a lower view count, and you can increase that even by 10, even if it's for 5 minutes. Show your support. If you do, tell them Tom Polymaker says hello, and hope to catch you guys here again next week, whether it be Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern or Thursday at 7. So you guys have a good night, a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.